Do you think that the writers today should be concerned about all the commercial aspects of filmmaking?
You absolutely have to be concerned with what what will be a commercial story.
Mm-hmm.
But my view is that does not mean that, and especially doesn't mean, oh, what is the hottest genre right now? What is the what were the most successful movies this year? And then I'm going to try to do one that's just like that. That is absolutely the worst thing you can do.
Mm-hmm.
When I say be concerned about commercial storytelling, I'm talking about basic principles that make a good story that will appeal to a worldwide audience. And every writer needs to be aware of that. But I believe that it's a false distinction to think that on the one hand is a story that I care about that's very original, on the other hand is a commercial story that I think will sell. That's a false distinction.
Mm-hmm.
It's very possible to tell an original story that's very important to you as a writer that also has commercial appeal to a worldwide audience.
Mm-hmm. Nowadays, there seems to be so many sequels, prequels coming from Hollywood, and sometimes we ask ourselves, is Hollywood even interested in new stories? What do you think?
I don't think they are. Those prequels and sequels are not by accident. It has to do with an economic model that they use to make the maximum amount of money. And it comes from the fact that they are no longer interested in simply appealing to an American audience. Mm-hmm. They are interested in a worldwide audience, which means that every script that they buy has to have blockbuster potential. They have to believe that it has the capability of selling $100 million worth of tickets, at least. Now, what that means is that you're going to have stories that are repeated. You're going to come up with these, what they call tent poles, mm-hmm. franchises, where, we tell Spider-Man 3, 5, 10 times. We tell Batman 10 times, right? Because we have a brand which we then can sell to a worldwide audience. But that's why the real creativity, at least coming out of America in mm-hmm. film, is not from Hollywood. Mm-hmm. It's from independent filmmakers, which is because they don't have the requirement to sell to a worldwide audience. They can and should come up with an original story that they tell that story as well as it can be told. They purposely want it to be different from everything else, and that's where you get real creativity. But it is based on a totally different economic model.
Mm-hmm.
If people are looking for mainstream Hollywood for a huge amount of creativity, they are going to look for a long time. In Hollywood, the greatest creativity right now is in American television, mm-hmm. not in American mainstream film.
And so, could you talk a little bit more about the writing that's happening now in TV? Like, what kind of shows do you like, or?
Absolutely. It's very important to understand that in American television, writers control the medium, not directors and not producers.
That makes
all the difference. Yeah. All the difference in the world. So what you have are shows, especially on cable, not the networks, but especially on cable, where the story is all important. It's all about the story. And in the last 10 years, writers of television in America have finally understood the TV medium as an art form that is distinct from TV. Instead of telling standalone episodes mm-hmm. that were 42 minutes long, where we started with a problem and we solved the problem by the end of the show, mm-hmm. instead of the single episode being the unit of measure, it is an entire season. And so you have shows like Boardwalk Empire, The Sopranos, The Wire, Laws, which use an entire season to tell multiple stories that cross over, interconnect, multiple main characters. And so notice that the canvas that the storyteller is working with is much bigger. Instead of being half the length of a movie, it is 10 times the length of a movie, because we're talking about 13 to 24 episodes. And so this is where all of the best work is now happening in American mainstream storytelling. And in the current shows, besides Boardwalk Empire, Mad Men, The Good Wife, The Killing, these are, in my opinion, the best shows, the best TV drama shows that are out today. And there are others, Dexter, Breaking Bad, and so on. But this is where the real creativity and the best writing by far in America is in American television, not in American film.